I believe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will go 14-3 this fall. Now, we have to be honest. The Buccaneers are one of the best, if not the very best team in the entire NFL. They just won a Super Bowl, and I think their team has gotten even better. They bring back all 22 of their starters, and then they even added a guy or two who can give them more depth and make an impact on their roster. For example, they drafted a pass rusher, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, from Washington in the first round. He's a guy who makes what's already a really good defensive line even better. They didn't need Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, but man, he adds a really, really good dynamic to their defensive line. They brought in Giovanni Bernard, who is a former star for the Cincinnati Bengals at running back, who kind of entering the end of his career, but comes in and joins their running back crew and gives them even more depth, something it didn't even need. Now, headlining their fantastic roster is a guy everyone is really, really familiar with, their quarterback, Tom Brady. He is 44 years old, but Tom Brady is not showing any signs of aging or slowing down. And then let's be honest, because if Tom Brady does, for example, this year, start to decline a little bit, well, the Buccaneers are giving him a ton of help. They're spending more money than any other team in the NFL on their wide receivers. They have a receiver, Mike Evans, a guy who's a jump ball machine who frankly, helped Johnny Manziel become the star he was at Texas A&M and win a Heisman Trophy. They have Chris Godwin, who's playing on the franchise tag. They have Antonio Brown, a receiver who's crazy talented. Now, a bit of a crazy man, and I want to give props to Tom Brady because I don't know that any other quarterback in the NFL could manage Antonio Brown's personality and make it work the way that Tom Brady has. Plus, the Buccaneers have a really good receiver, Scotty Miller, who's an underrated target. On top of that, they've got three good tight ends. They have Rob Gronkowski, Cameron Brate, and O.J. Howard at running back, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones. And then I mentioned him earlier, Giovanni Bernard, to give them more depth in the running back position, at the running back position. Now, Tampa Bay's offensive line will likely be even better this year than it was last year. They're bringing back all five guys from last year, but Tristan Wirfs, their right tackle, was a rookie last year. And I think it is safe to assume that he'll be even better after a year in the NFL, gaining experience and learning a lot about the league. So I think the offensive line is going to be even better. They're loaded on defense as well. Their front seven is crazy. They have Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea, William Golston, Shaq Barrett, Jason Pierre-Paul, Levante David, Devin Bush. Like, it's crazy the amount of talent they have on their front seven on defense. This is a group of guys who is dominant at getting after quarterbacks. They're really good at stopping the run. And then in the secondary for Tampa, you have two corners, Carlton Davis and Sean Murphy-Bunting, really good corners. You have two safeties, Antoine Winfield Jr. and Jordan Whitehead. Now, Jordan Whitehead is not active for week one. He's still recovering from a hamstring injury, but he's coming back from the Super Bowl run as well. And then, again, more depth. Yeah, again, I mentioned Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. Hard name to say, but he's a great, fantastic pass rusher, getting after the quarterback. Crazy talented. Like, most teams would not have him as a backup. He'd be a starter on their team. And then you have Jamel Dean, a guy who's going to make a really good impact as the number 3 corner for Tampa. Now, here's something I think adds even more insult to injury. When you talk about Tampa, you give them lots of praise. Not only did they win the Super Bowl last year, but apparently they did it with Tom Brady having a torn ligament in his knee the entire year. And you're like, that's Tom Brady with an injury? Like, what? And I couldn't believe that when I found out. So apparently Tom is more healthy than he was last year. Plus, remember last year, Tampa had no training camp, no real offseason. So this year they're going to have a year of... And last year they were spending a lot of the year getting to know each other and working on gathering a rhythm and timing and stuff like that. This year they can start from week one and just roll. And I think have a really good year, kind of like what... I mean, I hate to make this comparison, but in 2007... the New England Patriots, Tom Brady's former team, had a fantastic year. They dominated everybody. This is a team that feels similar where from week one on, they are just ready to go and just kick some butt, and I'm really excited to watch them play. So I have Tampa going 14-3. I think they could actually go even better than that, have a better record. But I look at it realistically. Even though they are a Super Bowl favorite, every team, even the best, have a slip up at some point or have a bad game. But if you look at Tampa's schedule, man, there's a lot of winnable games. Now, week 3, 4, and 5 have some tough games. They play week 3, they play at the Rams in LA. Week 4 at New England, that's a really good football team with the Patriots. And then week 5 against Miami, that's a good defense, a young offense. And I mean, those 3 weeks back to back to back are some tough games to play. But I think the game that I am most looking forward to, and a game that everyone around the league and anyone that follows football looks at this game and circles it on their calendar and is really, really excited. I cannot wait to watch Tom Brady Week 4, Buccaneers at Patriots, go back home to New England where he started his career and won multiple Super Bowls, to play his old team, to play his old coach, Bill Belichick. That is the matchup I cannot wait to see. Buccaneers at Patriots Week 4 of the NFL season. But again, I want to repeat this. I think that the Buccaneers will go 14-3. They are a team that should be a Super Bowl favorite, and they are one of the best teams in the entire NFL.